everyone, I'm Matt Clark, research analyst with Money Markets here with your weekly marijuana market update. Now, do make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and get notified each and every time we post a new video. We've also launched that new membership program I've been telling you about. It's right here on YouTube. It gives you exclusive access to even more cannabis market related information. It includes new videos, interviews with cannabis insiders, a monthly live chat with me, which we've already had. We're coming up on another one here soon, and blog posts about movements in the cannabis market. Just click join down below, and you'll be able to find out how you can become a member of this new community. Now, in today's update, I'm going to talk about a few things. I'm going to answer a reader email about the future of the cannabis and psychedelic markets, and then I'm going to give you an update on our new Cannabis Index. So first, I'll start with the reader email. Lynn emailed me and asked, what is your outlook on the cannabis market, including psychedelics, in the US and Canada? Thanks in advance for your expert opinion. I didn't actually add that in. They actually said, thanks for your expert opinion, and I appreciate that. Thanks so much. I do thank you for the email, Lynn. I'm more than happy to address your question. Also, be on the lookout. You're going to get an email from my team as we are going to try to send you a Money in Markets hat as part of you sending a question in that we use on the Marijuana Market Update. Now, I'm going to talk more about that a little bit later. Now, Lynn's question piggybacked on what Maureen asked me last week about the psychedelic market. Now, the psychedelic market, if you didn't catch last week's update, in the cannabis sector is very, very small. There aren't a whole lot of companies that are involved here. And the companies focus on developing the use of psilocybin, which is an ingredient that's commonly referred to in magic mushrooms. Oregon became the first state to legalize psilocybin back in November of 2020. And I found an interesting interview just the other day with Gerald Rosenbaum. He is the head of the Centers for the Neuroscience of Psychedelics at Mass General in Boston. It's Massachusetts General Hospital. He did the interview with Harvard back in June of 2021. The center is basically studying the effects of psilocybin to treat various conditions like depression and ADHD. And he was asked about the legality of psychedelics, which, by the way, they are actually illegal. They are a Schedule I substance. And he said something interesting. He said, I don't think it makes sense for psychedelics to continue in Schedule I. When you talk about harm to self or harm to others, they're way down on the list below things you can buy in your pharmacy or that your doctor can prescribe. While that may be true, when you're looking for if you're looking at the future of psychedelics, you do have to understand that they have been around for a long time, but their study in relation to the treatment of illness is very, very new. That said, millions of dollars are being poured into companies studying psychedelic-assisted therapy. A 2021 study by Research and Markets concluded that the global psychedelic drugs market could hit a value of $4.1 billion just this year and reach $7.6 billion by 2026. That's an 85% increase in just 5 years. Now, I see a great amount of potential growth in the segment, but it's going to be dependent on the federal government being proactive and approving the use of psilocybin. And the same can be said about the cannabis market. I talked about this in June when I gave my thoughts on the future of the cannabis market. In the first 2 quarters of the year, cannabis sales have increased 7% to about $6.2 billion in the second quarter, and that combines both medical and adult use. Expectation is for that trend to continue and even expand in the second half of the year. Now, analyzing data from New Frontier Data, which is a cannabis research firm, the annual cannabis sales could reach $24.9 billion in the U.S. by the end of just this year. That sales trend is expected to reach $43 billion by 2025, taking into account current sales, as well as new states legalizing either medical use, adult use, or both. So just like psychedelics, the cannabis market has a great deal of potential. However, that'll be dependent mostly on regulation changes at the federal level. Cannabis and psychedelic research companies need freer access to capital, and that won't happen until legalization becomes a reality. As an investor, now remember what I said a few months ago, this is the long game. Don't day trade cannabis or psychedelic stocks because it's not likely that you're going to see any big gains. However, if you bought in now, those big gains will be realized once the federal government gets its head on right and removes both cannabis and psychedelics off the Schedule I list. Now, remember, you can get some money market swag by submitting a question for me just like Lynn did. You can also submit a question to Adam Odell or Charles Sizemore, and any of them that we use, whether you send us a question or maybe you want to be creative and you want to email a video of a question that you're asking. Love to use the video, by the way. If you do that, just send your email to feedback@moneymarkets.com. If we use it, you're going to get hooked up with some money and markets swag. I have hats around here, and I completely forgot to pick one up, but I'll show you what they look like in a bit. Also, if you do have a testimonial, maybe you followed the cannabis watch list or something like that, would love to get your thoughts on that. So by video or by comment, either way, we use it. Some swag's coming to you. Now, I want to switch gears and talk about the Money Market's Cannabis Index. This is an index that tracks cannabis companies with a market cap of over $10 million. There are 225 companies that meet the criteria. I'm going to reconstitute this periodically. But last week, the index had a value of 173.2. When I ran the index this morning, it was up to 173.6, indicating a very, very slight uptick in the broader market. But as you can see from the chart, things are moving relatively flat overall in the cannabis market. It's been kind of a slow summer. Legalization talks have not really picked up much. We had some strong upward movement at the beginning of the year. That was when cannabis legalization discussions really kicked off. But it's fallen off after that because conversation on it has cooled. Congress is in the midst of a $1 trillion infrastructure deal, plus a $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation. So there's a lot of other big things ahead before cannabis gets its day in Congress. Now, what the index does that I'm providing you here is it gives you as a cannabis investor a different look at how the broader cannabis market is performing from one day to the next. I'm going to update this index and give it to you each and every week here in the Marijuana Market Update. Now, again, if you do have a question about the cannabis market or a cannabis stock, email me at feedback@moneyandmarkets.com or comment below here on YouTube. Send us a question or even a video of your question or testimonial. And if we use it, you're going to get some free Money and Market swag. So make sure you do that. Also, I encourage you to join our membership program on YouTube. I provide weekly updates about stocks on our watch list, which, by the way, I've added a stock to the watch list. So if you want to know what that is, you're going to want to get in on the membership community and find out what that new stock is. And I'm going to tell you right now, since I've added it, it's up 5%. I'm whispering for no real reason at all, but it's up 5%. So it's already starting to make nice positive gains for us since I added it just a few days ago. So click the join button on our YouTube channel and find out how you can learn more. I also provide you blog posts about cannabis investing news, earnings, all sorts of stuff and much more. We had our first live chat on YouTube with me a couple weeks ago. People were able to ask me just about anything related to the cannabis market, and it was great. We had worldwide participation, folks from Asia, folks from the Mediterranean and Europe and the US and Canada. It was fantastic. Loved it. And we're going to do it again. We're probably going to do a little bit more. I'm going to try to talk my boss into it. I got a strong arm him, but I think I got some leverage. Also unveiled another tool that you can use to help point you in the right direction if you're maybe looking for your next cannabis investment. So you can join today and find out more about what that is. Follow me on Twitter as well. I give you more insights, not just on the cannabis market, but the broader market in general. My user handle on Twitter is @InvestWithMattC. Okay, Invest with Matt C. And you find me there. If you follow me, I will certainly try to follow you back. We've got a lot more on the way. We've got our Investing with Charles Sizemore, Ask Adam Anything, the Bull and the Bear podcast, much more here on YouTube. Make sure you check it out. Comment, question, maybe you want to send us a video, do so. feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. You do that, we are going to send you some free Money and Markets swag. So don't forget about all the stuff we have going on. And certainly thank you for your time for joining me this week. We'll have much more coming up next week on the Marijuana Market Update. Until then, I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money and Markets. Safe trading, everyone.